Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to Generations Ultimate once again. It might be strange that I'm recording Generations Ultimate so soon after having previously recorded it. I think I may have even said at the end of the previous recording that you shouldn't expect another Generations recording for a while. I did mean that. It just so happens that there is literally nothing else for me to play right now than Generations Ultimate. I initially tried 3 Ultimate, and no one was playing that. I tried 4 Ultimate, and unsurprisingly, no one was playing that. Of course, referring to the emulating community, or emulation community, rather. Some person's going to be like, oh, I play 4 Ultimate on the 3DS servers, and there are plenty of people to play with. Well, why on earth would I play on the 3DS? Second of all, oh god, now it's getting really bright. I swear to you, like, it was perfectly consistent until I went live. It's always this way. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for that. As well as that, there was no one playing Freedom 1, there was no one playing Portable 3rd. Long story short, this was my only option, so here I am. But furthermore, I need to... Oh, fuck off, I'm not logging in on my laptop if you're going to do that. I need to send a notification out to my dear Discord audience. Well, my viewers who are on the Discord, I should say. Now, if I go to going live... I mean, ideally I'd do this before going live, but... yeah. I keep accidentally bringing up the Discord Help Center. I really don't think there is anything that they would be capable of assisting me with. Going live in Generations Ultimate in... well, no, momentarily. Now, typically when I write momentarily for the notification, I do actually mean I'll be going live in less than 30 seconds. But I've taken to writing it even if I am live as I type the message, so... I guess it's to avoid too many different ways of saying that I'm live. It's either, you know, give a time estimate or say momentarily. I suppose those are the two that I'm trying to stick with. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. I admittedly didn't check to see who was playing the game, but there is always someone playing. Always. Well, and when I say someone, I don't literally mean one other person other than myself, I do mean a good number of people. Dread Queen, no. Arena Quests, no. A Cantor, maybe. What the hell is this? Remember when I said that the search function is actually broken in this game? Look at that! It's like there's a partial screenshot that's overlaid here. I can't believe this. How is it so broken? Friend request arrived from %S? Number of requests received %D. And then some random shit. What on earth? And then look at the users in the... How does this even happen? It is specific to the search function. It's not like you get into a hall and this sort of shit goes on. It's literally just the search, and it is the only Monster Hunter game that I've seen this happen in. I suppose I can forgive them for it, because it is a very large game. I'm sure there was a lot to work on here, so maybe there were certain things that they hadn't ironed out, but this is pretty dumb. Anyway, an HR minimum 0, HR max 0. Whatever. And I do believe that the hunter name is part of that. I could always put forth a theory, and that is that if there are Chinese characters that are unrecognized by the system, that might actually cause issues with the search function. Like, that might spill over into further errors for a room that was created by such a person, with a name that can't be recognized by the system. Just a theory. But I don't know, it's only a matter of time until the Chinese are banned from playing Generations Ultimate, so... there you go. Hi, happy face. I'd better reload the list. I have nothing to say in regards to this. Turns with Kaiser, Fatalis Farm with a person with a rather unfortunate name. It is neither funny nor clever, and I won't repeat it verbally. HR Completion as opposed to completion. Maybe it's a form of, well, let's not get into that. Dualhan. Hame Charm Farm. No. Well, hopefully you're getting rid of Marvin. Cause, helping. Wouldn't that be funny? 3 Aisha 999s and then one guy just posting stuff. It's his lucky day, I suppose. As soon as I saw this opportunity, I was thinking, yeah, I have to contribute to this. I'm not going to hang around in here for too long, but yeah. It's Red Sonja's lucky day. Now, I don't know what Red Sonja is going to do, but hopefully the quests that he posts are going to be worth my while. If they're not, then I'll move on. I'm not really looking to help people around here. I'm generally a helpful person in the community when I don't have anything left to do myself, but I don't like this community, so I feel less obligated. I have never felt obligated, that's a strong word, but I suppose I feel less inclined. Let me bring up my chat. And I'm going to shift my laptop so that it is more comfortably within my peripheral vision. That way I don't have to turn my head to look at it. I mean, I'll still be sort of turning my head, but less than I would otherwise be doing. What are you saying? You love Gunlance sets, says Overlord GL. What a surprise. At least he lives up to his name. Wouldn't it be funny if you were going through a phase where you happened to like Gunlance quite a bit, and you had named yourself Overlord Gunlance, and then you suddenly didn't like using Gunlances anymore? In fact, they became your least favourite weapon type. That would be very awkward. Wish had more equipment slots, says Causa. Oh, I think he means equipment set slots. I do agree with that. I'd say there's a good number of equipment slots in this game, but more would be nice. I definitely wouldn't complain about that. It is way too fucking bright, and I'm fucking pissed off. Like, considerably pissed off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about 30 seconds, and thank you for the resub, Vernon. I'm going to take about 30 seconds to go and organise my lighting conditions. I'll be back in just a moment. These guys don't seem to be in any great rush to hunt anyway. At what point did my green screen shift like this? Not like you would know. That's supposed to be something that I am familiar with, not you. Yeah. Oh, I think I might have shifted my webcam. That's what happened. Wasn't the green screen. Although I have positioned it more appropriately. What I will do, Vernon, is while I'm in this room I will do one quest with Red Sonja, and then I'll make a room. if you're fine with that. I would like to promptly withdraw what I just said, and I'll make a room right now. Because if this guy is going to have 3 Hunter Rank 999s in his room, only to post high rank deviants, he can go and choke on a cock. That's about all I have to say. So, G rank, presumably. I will not apply an HR. Oh no, I will. I'm assuming 13 is fine. What Hunter rank is this person? I'm going to assume it's 13, and I can update it as necessary if they are below the Hunter rank of 13. I haven't actually mentioned for the viewers, the VOD viewers, Vernon would like to hunt with me, with a friend, and so I'm making a room for him. That leaves 1 spot open for a random, which would be fine. Got a bit of low frequency hum outside, but it should pass momentarily. It is a vehicle. It is vehicular noise. In terms of lighting, the reason why it is as dark as it is right now is to essentially deal with any excessive brightening of the sun. But what I think I will do is raise the brightness a little further. It's not really good enough, is it? That should be alright. I don't know if Dire RPS is Vernon's friend or not, but... well, we're gonna have to find out. I'm gonna need an update on whether or not the friend in question has arrived. We've got Artemis. Your friend's name is Adjudicator, so it's none of these people. Well, I'm sorry, but Dire RPS is gonna have to... just let me know when he's ready to join, because I don't want to kick someone and then have the spot taken by someone else anyway. So... yeah, although I don't know if you two are in such close communication. If you are not, then I'll just remove the person and then hope that this Adjudicator individual can make it in. I apologize, Dire RPS. I would have been a whole lot nicer to explain to you the situation before removing you, but anyway. Okay, he's sitting right next to you, that makes it easier. Aha, so we have 2 incorrectly spelled names, very nice. The best of friends. Okay, as far as what we would like to hunt, I'll leave it up to you, and I will also write for the benefit of Artemis that player 2 shall post first. What have we got? Brute of the capture quest, huh? Haven't done one of these in a while. Almost forgot they existed in this game, to be completely honest. Just gonna check to make sure the chroma key is fine. I apologize for how much work I've had to put into it. It's not fine. Incidentally, I'm glad I checked. That has always been and will always be my responsibility to make sure that that's correct, because I've never been alerted to the fact that it's not in the past, so there you go. But yeah, I do apologize for having to mess around with the setup so much. It's just that the typical protocol is that I will set it up and then I go live and then the lighting conditions change immediately. It's like, well, thanks. Thanks, sun. Thanks, weather. A hammer would be fun. Let's use that. What is my fire hammer in this game? It's probably Silver Rathalos, isn't it? I would imagine so. It's not. It is Glavenus. Which certainly concurs with my memories, it's just that... I don't know. I guess I didn't remember it at the time. In fact, I clearly didn't. Well, I don't really have a need for defense up large. I think that's probably unnecessary. I'll go with Lucky Cat. What I'm expecting to get in the rewards, I don't really know. I'm assuming that you can get Wyvern gems from Baroth. I could be wrong. Maybe you can't get them from monsters of such a low level. Baroth is sort of the higher end of the tier 1 monsters. While he is appearing in G2 here, I don't know if it's appropriate to call him tier 2. I really don't think so. He's either low end tier 2 or high end tier 1. I don't think that, traditionally speaking, at least referring to 3rd generation, he was considered tier 2. So for example, Baroth would be tier 1, Raytheon would be tier 2, and Rathalos would be tier 3, as I understand it. Finding him in this locale is very odd. Just feels wrong. I don't think there's anywhere for him to roll around in the mud here, actually. This feels terribly wrong. Whatever. Yumi has very helpfully pinged to say the monster is here. We would have been quite lost had Yumi not done that. When verticality actually helps, huh? I almost never hammer this monster. We've already got a poison, so whoever's running poison is dealing a lot of that. It's almost immediate. Oh, I see, Vernon's using the Eopre Sword and Shield. That's a bit of a throwback. Sorry, I really shouldn't do that. That's bad practice to super pound the body of a monster while there are a bunch of Blade Master people around the body. There's no mud over there. I suppose there would be, wouldn't there? Yes, yes, that does make sense. I'm guessing that... yeah, that's so interesting. It actually rolls in the shallow water in a place where we can't reach him. I never knew that. It does make sense. Can you relax a bit? That's it. I'm putting you in a trap. You've pissed me off. Now, open with an upswing, which is going to miss, but I can only pray that lag compensation will deal the KO. That was an incredibly unsuccessful trap for me. The entire point to putting that trap down, at least as far as I'm concerned, is, or was, to deal KO damage to the head, and I didn't actually get a successful hit at all. So I'm not a happy camper in having witnessed that. There you go. We do have to be careful, though, it's worth mentioning. We can't kill this thing, otherwise it will be a failed quest. And a complete and utter waste of time. Okay, so that's the head broken off. Would have been nice if I had Capture Guru, but I actually don't have a Capture Guru set in this game. I've mentioned it before. Asleep, it's a bit overkill. And there's the fucking boomerang from the cat. Thanks, cat. Although we're really not in any need of sleep bombing damage or anything like that. That would be unnecessary. Or heavy wake-up hits. Yeah, what I was going to say is that I think that last game... well, I did have a Capture Guru set in 4 Ultimate, I think. I know I had one in 3 Ultimate, which I actually removed. Interestingly enough. I've come to realise that hammering this monster is not fun at all. And that may very well be the reason why I never do it. That would make a lot of sense. I was sort of hoping to just get the upswing there, but whatever. Limping. Not limping. My greatest fear is that we will kill this thing. My pet peeve in any Monster Hunter game is just a failed hunt. Like a failed capture quest, for example. I hate it. Because it is actually a waste of time. You haven't achieved anything. Unless you happen to carve something of importance during the hunt, before you failed it. Of course, I used the hammer because I thought it would be fun to do so. It's turned out to be anything but fun. It's been a bit miserable, actually. I'm holding off on attacking him just so I can see what's going on with the guy. I'm assuming that Vernon's got a trap, so... yeah, I'm gonna drop a pitfall right here. If he limps out, then so be it, but this is for capturing purposes. If we could line up with this, that'd be pretty cool. Now something else is... oh, it's fucking Raja, are you kidding me? Oh, Christ! Okay, well... I'll leave the next trap up to someone. I'll let him fall asleep and then... I'll position myself to throw tranks. In the event that... oh, I thought he went straight over there, he does not. Well, yes, I will, again, leave trapping up to whoever's got one. I'm not quite sure what Vernon's doing, but anyway. Oh, very good. Adjudicator's got one. There you go. Now, I'm hoping that I saw that wrong, but based on what I saw and what I heard, I think that cat continued to attack. I think. I could actually be wrong, but it looked as if... and again, I thought I heard the sound of the cat hitting the monster. That is what was happening. If it was what was happening, then fuck that guy. I'm not going to assume that that's what happened. That's why I'm holding off on my verbal abuse. Because I don't want to lay into the guy and he never did anything wrong. They can throw trank bombs when they sheath. Well, you see, I did think that cats could throw tranks. It's just that I heard the sound of something that resembled a physical impact. But anyway. Well, that's good. So I'm guessing he also refers to the Rathalos and Raytheon monsters as rats. Does he have any sensible explanation as to how or why you started to refer to dragons as rats, as opposed to wraths? Because that would be both enlightening and reassuring, actually. I guess he can post next, yeah. Also, welcome, Blue Bar. I guess I'll just keep eating for attack up. That would be appropriate. But yeah, I really wasn't intending on doing Generations Ultimate today, but that is how things eventuated. That cat has got very puffy hair. Another capture quest. What's it? A high rank capture quest. I'm not too sure what sort of misery you're trying to put me through, but that is very nearly the worst possible quest that I could have seen on that board. Which is, I suppose, an achievement in and of itself, to have posted something like that. Alright. Seregio's Scuffle. It is no longer a capture quest, and it is no longer high rank, so I'm happy to see that. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Seregios, but I'll take what I can get at this stage. I'm not bringing a lance. I would be joking. Maybe a hunting horn. There you go. That I can live with. It is going to be Zenoga hunting horn, a presser's boon. And I believe I've already eaten, so I think we're good to go. I didn't know there was an event Hyper Sergio's capture quest. Is there such a thing? I've never heard of it or seen it. Sounds like a terrible experience. Sergio starts up here, I believe. Oh, for case closed. Okay. Ew, they call it case closed instead of Detective Conan. That's awful. What were they thinking? No one knows it as case closed unless... I don't know, you're an American who watched it in the late 90s or whenever it aired. Like, what the fuck? Case closed. The irony is the case was never fucking closed. Well, technically they would solve individual cases, but it just goes on forever. It's a really long show that will never see a conclusion. Case closed. What were they thinking, calling it that? No, I'm currently referring to the event quest in-game. I know what's the name of the hunt. I'm not referring to you. I'm not saying that you're a fool for calling it that. Unless you were part of the translation team, this is not directed at you in any way. And if you were part of the translation team, then I'm going to need some explanations as to why that happened. I didn't intend to ping. That was not an intentional ping. I apologize. And I don't really care to explain how I managed to ping accidentally. I'll do defense up next. Yeah, technically wasn't intended to make contact with the monster. Fuck right off. I don't like you. I've never liked you, Sergios. Did you know that? From the moment I first fought you in 4 Ultimate, I didn't like you all that much. I thought you were interesting in your design. By the way, this is a gold crown large. Just thought I'd let everyone know. But outside of that, yeah, never liked this fucking monster. He just moves around too much. Having some real issues playing this fucking song right now. On account of my own stupidity. I would like to clarify. There we go. Do a bit of an aerial maneuver here. There you go, is that a mount? Should have been. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Why did I just say that? That was neither applicable nor funny. I'm about to sneeze. Oh, goodness me. It's not really necessary for me to say I'm about to sneeze. Because clearly I was about to. But anyway. His head pushed me off the edge. Why aren't you KO'd? It is time. Well, perhaps not, but... my wishful thinking tells me that you should be KO'd. Right. And that's how you get out of things like that. I also hate that attack. That particular attack is very annoying. Just knocked him down rather effectively though. Lots of KO damage is being dealt at the moment. Not just by me, but by the cat. In fact, probably more from the cat than from me, so I think it is time for this bastard to be knocked out. Is that asleep? It sure is. Now let me guess, the cat's gonna fuck it up again. Well, actually, the cat did fuck it up, but Vernon really fucked it up, so it's alright. It's not just the cat this time. How about I wave at the... whatever it is. Hot air balloon. Wave. Alright. You don't have to wait in this game. In the older games you'd wave at the balloon and it would maybe take about 3 seconds to show you where the monster was. No. See, that's not good quality of life. Having to wait. So, it's immediate in this game. See, don't you think that's sort of desperation on the part of Capcom to make things convenient for the hunter is just at that stage beyond all logic? Of course it's going to take like 3 seconds for them to shine the light on the monster. I mean, they see the hunter waving, and then they're like, oh, okay, let's find the monster. There it is, now I'll shine the light. 3 seconds, fair enough. But no, it's just immediate in this game because apparently it's inconvenient to wait. Says who is what I want to know. Fucking Capcom. Insulting the intelligence of their player base at every turn. In terms of where I want to go to get to this monster, I think this way. I think. And then, yes. Yumi had the right idea, it's just it took me too long to work it out. Oh, thank you for the ping! It would have been lost without you, as usual. If you can hear that, that is a bird. If you can't hear it, then ignore me. There you go. I helped. I don't think we've gotten a KO yet. Could always be wrong, but I didn't see it if we got one. There you go. I had to work my ass off for that. It was indeed a joint effort, though. On the part of myself and the guy who has somehow allowed himself to be possessed into playing as a cat. I don't know why one would do that, but anyway. Everyone has their preferences, I guess. Why you would play as a cat is something I will never understand. In all the time that I will spend playing Monster Hunter in my life. As far as where the monster went, no idea, I'm about to find out. Oh, to the main area. Or the large area, anyway. I consider this to be... Again, your pinging is just... phenomenally helpful. It's a special type of person who takes it upon themselves to aggressively inform the team of where the monster is when it isn't really necessary. But, I didn't even get to finish my Sonic Smash before the thing died. And I've complained about this before, but it's totally unnecessary to have it be so that the monster cannot actually be walked through or walked into during the death animation. That's dumb. I can't position myself for a carve properly when that happens. It's a terrible change that they made to the game. Like, of all the things they decided to change, they decided to implement that. More realistic, guys. Yeah, it sure is. It's more realistic to have to wait to walk through a solid object, yeah. Thank you. I don't know what my immersion would be like without Capcom's assiduous considerations. Oh, you're dead already. And there's a Sergio's lens. That is my 7th. And now Vernon can post. Unless, of course, the Hunter 999 guy wants to post, but I'm not going to let him know that he can. If he wants to, he can muscle his way to the... or muscle his way through, I guess, implied opposition to his intended posting of the quest, and then he can go post one. Yeah, that was added in Generations, Blue Barn. And it's a stupid idea. I mean, in the whole series, up until this point, I was used to, you know, killing the monster and then positioning myself inside of the monster during the death animation for the carve. But in this game, you can't fucking do that. Generally, you can't stand where you stood during the death animation and then proceed to carve. You have to then move into the monster after the death animation, then carve. It's stupid. It adds an additional process to the carving scenario. It's not helpful at all. It's just dumb. It doesn't add immersion, it just adds an extra step to the process, and I don't know why they added that. It makes no sense. They got rid of it in 5th gen, so at least I recall that being the case, so I don't know why they decided to do it. I guess it was an experiment, but yeah. I just had another case of checking what monster it was and then forgetting immediately after, so I have to go check again. Young Garuga, huh? I will bring a Charge Blade. Why not? Water Charge Blade. Which is... Nibble Snuff. Composite border. Blue Barn, unfortunately that theory that you just posed, that it would be helpful as far as getting your charge up while the monster is dying, unfortunately that is not applicable. Because you were able to walk inside of the monster and hit it in 2nd and 1st gen. So, there you go. You could attack it the entire time, yet still walk inside of it, which was quite convenient. Hello, Tech. So yeah, I mean, that would be a sensible theory, it's just that that's actually not what it is. It's some fucking stupid thing that Capcom decided to do because maybe it's more realistic. I don't know. What are we hunting again? It is... What's wrong with me? No, I can remember it all on my own. Let's do it, come on. It's... Yangaruga, yeah. It'd be nice if I could pay attention to what I'm doing. That would be real helpful. I guess I'm just so enamored with this discussion about how Capcom implements things without actually thinking about how they affect the gameplay, and then, I don't know, not fixing it. They could have fixed it for Generations Ultimate, but they didn't, so there you go. There's this bloody monster. Oh, he's north. He's where Vernon's going. I'm sure the cat is quite disappointed that he couldn't get here first, and then ping. I'm sure his hunt has been spoiled as a result. I forgot to check if that Seregios was a Gold Crown Large. I'm pretty bloody sure that it was. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. This is a very big Yangaruka compared to what I'm used to. Dare I say that this is also a Gold Crown Large? I feel like it is. All the Garugas I've been hunting lately have been 1st gen Garugas, which are fucking awful to fight, but much smaller than this, I can tell you. Emo bird. I suppose that would be an appropriate characterization. Shut up. This is one of those monsters that it really helps to have earplugs for. Might actually get my charge up further. I don't really have a need to make use of this single vial that I have. There you go. Do I want to aim for the tail for a change? Let's do it. The reason why I generally don't aim for the tail, as I hope is rather clearly outlined from the current situation, is because I generally bounce off it. There you go. Managed to get a KO there. Adjudicator and I are both working towards that. Oh, that was fucking cool. Mid-air, morph into sword mode. We've got it sleep here. Cool. I did notice the sleep is just like my hands were doing their own thing, I guess. I can actually, interestingly enough, do an AED here. It's just, I generally do— oh, well, we could do that. It's fine, I don't mind. In the end, it's not like a full AED, so it's not going to be the best possible damage. May as well have the bomb wake up at that point. This Garuga is about to die, surely. It's not even a hyper, so with this amount of damage being dealt to it, I do think that it's— yeah. Now, if it were hyper, it would have definitely lasted another minute or two. But a regular Garuga taking that much damage is quite obviously going to kill it fucking fast. Nicely done. It's very satisfying to kill it so quickly. Literally impossible to do that in first gen. Absolutely, totally impossible to kill one that fast. Unless you've got a freakish team of all Japanese hunters just headlocking it to death. With Black Diablo's lances. Maybe it's possible if you've got that going on, but otherwise I can't imagine it. Simply cannot. You've probably noticed that I'm constantly walking up to mining nodes and then realizing that I don't have pickaxes. I don't think I'm running low on mining materials, but or mineable materials. It's a pretty action-packed final scene. It looks like I'm an executioner holding my axe above my head. That's pretty good. I didn't get to cut the tail, but I wasn't aiming for it that consistently. So I think I can live with that. But yeah, there's a surprising number of... well, I suppose there are two reasons why there are so many Hunt Rank 999s in this game. The first is that it's fucking easy to get to Hunt Rank 999. The second reason is that I think a lot of the people who would have otherwise just moved on to the next Monster Hunter game realize that there's nothing to do or to enjoy in the next Monster Hunter game on Switch, so they just keep playing this one. I'd say those are the two reasons. In order of, you know, most likely to be the primary impact. In other words, the impact of the ease of ranking up really is more pronounced than just people not wanting to play Rise. I'm sure there are plenty of people who want to play Rise, and do continue to play it. Why, I've got no idea, but that's kind of... that is how the community has fallen. It's just the way it is. I do love the design of the Valstrax Charge Blade. It's very anime. Although I suppose the dragon himself is very much that way. Yeah, I'm in a Gunlance mood again for the Cantor. What's my dragon Gunlance? In 4 Ultimate, it's White Fatalis, I think. In this game, it must be Silver Rathalos. Yeah. Which is quite fine. I do enjoy this Gunlance. I avoided using it in 3 Ultimate initially, because I wanted to allocate my Rathalos mantles to other things. It felt like a bit of a waste, because I was already working toward, well, it's much easier, I should say, to make the Genmoran Gunlance, and it's a perfectly fine Gunlance. So I felt that making that initially was more sensible. But then, once I just had an abundance of Rathalos mantles, I decided, yeah, I'll make the Silver Rathalos Gunlance. It's not like I had any shortage of Silver Rathalos stuff, because, yeah, I had hunted so many of them. I may as well take an Adamant Seed. Hello, Simply Roam. Welcome. It's a Cantor time again, but you know what? I would rather repeatedly fight an Acantor than repeatedly fight a Latreon in this specific game, or repeatedly fight Adalkar. So I'm fine with this. I just made a slight adjustment to the audio levels there. Nothing that you would have noticed, I just wanted to explain why I suddenly turned to my computer and was clicking. And happy holidays to you, also. I'll shield that, because I don't need to deal with your bloody box. Damn it. Oh, not good. Hopefully that dealt damage. There's no guarantee of it, but you know. I can always hope. I took a hit for it, so it would be unfortunate if it didn't deal any damage. At the moment I'm prioritizing getting that last hit out, that's why I've got a lot of attacks that just aren't connecting right now. I can't believe that didn't fucking knock you down. You bastard. Well, I'll take this opportunity, seeing as though it's right in front of me. It's a bit dangerous, but you know. Oh, that tail might hit me. You see, the reason why I don't die often is because I don't take risks. Like what just happened there, I generally don't do that. If I'm presented an opportunity when I'm at low health against a monster that deals lots of damage, I don't take that opportunity, because in the end, what's that going to do? Is that going to mean that the monster dies like 5 seconds faster than it otherwise would? I guess so. I mean, that would be a fair estimate. Now, is that worth risking death for? No. So I generally don't do it, but I'm being irresponsible. The shield does block it, of course, it's just that I wasn't in a position to shield it at that time. Oh, fuck, I thought I was going to get hit by that. Anyway. It's a bit unfortunate, but whatever. I suppose that's one way to reset your... Well, no, it's actually, I think, a good thing to have your heat gauge locked, isn't it? I don't know. I still don't really understand or even care for the heat gauge system, but whatever. I'm not opposed to it, I think it's fine. It wasn't a bad implementation, it's just that I don't find it necessary to have that as part of the weapon types. Whoa! Yeah, I don't think that's necessary to the design of the weapon type. If you could relax a little bit, Acantor, that would be very much appreciated. Anyway. It's pretty funny to watch him running around and then he just falls over in that way. I'm going to carve his tail. I have absolutely no need for carves, but I'm such an incorrigible hoarder in Monster Hunter games that I am actually carving instead of hunting. That is 3 knockdowns consecutively, all in a row, back to back. Pretty well done. It's good to aim for the back legs. There you go. I almost feel bad for this guy. Keyword being almost. You poor motherfucker. Let's bomb that face. Oh dear, what happened? Who did that? It's been a while since I've seen an Acantor just absolutely molested in this way. Okay. So I'm going to do the heavy shot on the face here. Moving into a wyvern fire. I can point it to the right side and get him on the wake up. Not really a wake up, I guess, on the standing up maneuver. Yeah, he's getting really fucked right now. Acantor is not long for this world. He really isn't. Okay. Can I shield in time? I sure can. Thankfully. See, I could have actually continued with a charged shell there, but I decided that was very dangerous. And that was an accurate evaluation of the circumstances. Oh, I didn't know that you could bounce on a Acantor with white sharpness. I've learned something new today. Isn't it funny? There are all these little things that you just don't know about and then you learn them. But one of the back plates of the Acantor is quite heavily armoured and will still cause you to bounce with white sharpness. As it so happens. Oh fuck. Unfortunately, because I was just upswung by Adjudicator, I missed my heavy shot. Which is unfortunate, but whatever. It's one of the reasons why I actually don't incorporate the upswing at all into my combo with the charge blade, because just because a person is not in front of you at the moment you begin the attack doesn't mean that someone isn't going to end up in front of you by the time you've completed the animation, so yeah, I just avoid it entirely. It's wyvern fire time. And it's also knockdown time. It isn't, apparently. Colour me shocked. Also, colour me shocked that this thing's still alive. You know why this thing's still alive? It's because this person's running fucking cat. That's why. Sorry if I hit you, Vernon. Fortunately, I didn't. I did hit you, but not with the attack that would send you flying. Fortunately. No, Dragon Blast, you fucker. This should kill him, surely. It did not. Can't believe it. Oh, he's going over there. I may very well have to dive his Dragon Breath here. Is he doing a sweeping Dragon Breath? He sure fucking is. That's fine. That's why I didn't run towards the right, because you don't want him to start his Dragon Breath on you. That's harder to avoid. Nicely done, though. I think we broke everything. By the looks of it. Yeah, everything is broken. One of the good things about 4th generation Monster Hunter is full free camera controls. See how I'm not snapping into different positions here? I have full control over the camera. I like that. That's one of those things that makes newer Monster Hunter games better. There are many things that I prefer about older Monster Hunter games, but this is one of those things that I very much appreciate. I'd carved the tail during the hunt so that I could demonstrate that to you without having to give up my calves. I'd anticipated it that far in advance. 2 Acanthal gems and some stuff. Letting you know that I got stuff in the rewards, I hope, was very informative. I didn't end up needing that adamant seed, because I wasn't hit by him while he was, I guess, breathing heavily. When he breathes heavily, it gives you defense down, whether you shielded it or not, actually. I was reminded of that fact, I think, yesterday. I was shielding the bite of an Acanthor and I still got defense down, despite the fact that I'd blocked it entirely. Everything in moderation, oh. Yeah, 400 defense Blade Master against a G-rank Acanthor is a pretty sad time. Pretty sad time. You know, to be honest, 725 defense is pretty shit, but again, as I've said many times in the past, all of my sets that incorporate the Hayabusa Feather essentially compromise on defense for the benefit of damage. Effectiveness against the monster. Which is fine. I think that's a sensible exchange. It's a form of balancing. Vernon's running bowgun this time. I will run Greatsword, because I have a soft spot for Greatswording Deviljho. Artemis has moved on. No more cat. What a tragedy. I will wait for a 4th person. Not because we need 4 people for this hunt, but rather because I just want a full team. Aiden or Adan. Is it Adan or Aiden? I'm asking the important questions today. Apparently Bitter Affinity does not apply to that weapon. That is a shit weapon. And a shit set, if I may add. Well, we all have to start somewhere, and you know what? I'd rather he use that than Adulkar, if you can believe it. I would rather that. Yeah, don't want to get caught out in the snow, that's no fun. Not that I'd know anything about that. It doesn't snow in my country, but snow, by my estimations, sucks. So, yeah. Avoid the snow. Now, getting caught in a blizzard, that would be no fun. Maybe he is a Dan, one of many Dans that exist in the world. This is an Aptonoth aficionado. What, you mean? No, I'm not going to go there, actually. I forgot to eat. It so happens. Deviljho in the swamp. What? This is very weird. This feels wrong. I like it. I love it, in fact. I love that I can fight Devil Joe here. But it feels very odd. Oh, what is he doing in there? You guys ended up taking the most circuitous route you could have possibly taken. You were actually really close to him. Where you spawned, all you had to do was go east one area and you would have ended up there. He starts off in the cave for some reason. What's he doing in the cave? Maybe he's hungry for some Kezu. Why you would be, I couldn't imagine, but... Aiden is... he seems to think that we're just guessing at the moment as to where the monster is. We know where it is, it's just that... I guess that hasn't been communicated to him. That's a big Kezu. It is actually a big Devil Joe. I don't want to be this guy, but I feel like every monster we've fought has been exceptionally large. That's what it feels like. Now this one might not be a gold crown large, maybe just a silver crown, but he's big. Look at him. He's a big boy. Could have done a slap there just to give myself a little bit more distance. I'll do it now. Just not used to the dynamic nature of Greatsword in this game. I'm gonna roll this. Just to prove a fucking point. Didn't feel like losing sharpness. I don't have too much sharpness on this Greatsword. It's just a little bit of purple. Now, a low amount of sharpness on a Greatsword in terms of, you know, how much of one specific sharpness level you have doesn't mean all that much because you hit fairly infrequently with Greatsword if you're using it correctly. You know, unless you're doing combo Greatsword, you're not hitting the monster with it as often as, say, Dual Blades or Sword and Shield or something like that. What that means is that you can retain sharpness for longer, but if you start shielding things with your Greatsword, that goes out the window. You'll lose sharpness very quickly that way. You saw a Cantor Greatsword doing a cartoony jump. Well, that's called aerial style. That's one of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of this particular game. I'm not forced to play this way, but there are certain ways in which you can play the game that it is really... it's so Monster Hunter Frontier in design. I'm sure it's fun, but it's not what I want out of my Monster Hunter experience, personally. Jumping off monsters and flying through the air, it's almost just not... it's not the same. It doesn't feel like Monster Hunter at that point. So fundamentally different from how you would use a weapon in all the other games that I just can't get behind it. I'm not a fan. But yeah, that is what you witnessed. Long story short. Aiden's using an interesting weapon. I believe that's Nursilla Greatsword, isn't it? I don't think I've seen someone use the Nursilla Greatsword before. Devil Joe has decided to eat the corpse of a Kelby. Why is there even a Kelby in here? Maybe it was brought here by another monster to be consumed at a later time in the day. Thank you for that. Uh-oh. Tech, weren't you learning how to use a Greatsword in 2nd gen? To graduate from your longsword usage? I seem to recall that. Oops. Don't want to stay on that side. Not when he's doing that. This is just a regular Devil Joe, isn't it? So I don't think he's going to last too long. He's fucking big though, isn't he? At least he might be. Oh shit. That's one thing with the Greatsword that you'll find to be kind of annoying. It is the fact that a flinching monster can oftentimes result in damage lost for you. Because he'll flinch out of your range. And it sucks. Well, thank you, Ethan. I'd do a hair flick, but I'm kinda busy, if you know what I mean. Flick hair or play game? Such decisions are beyond me at the moment. I'd rather default to what I'm already doing. It's less complicated. I'm gonna brimstone. You watch me brimstone slash this motherfucker. Whoops. That's not brimstone slashing. That is a Devil Joe who's lost his tail. Oh, fuck me. It just so happens that I'm rather adept at hunting Devil Joes with greatswords. Come on, do an attack. Oh no. Didn't even get to brimstone slash in the end. I'm going to dispatch this crab so that I may carve uninterrupted. And partial hair flick. It feels very strange hunting non-hyper monsters, honestly. Got a community sub from Ethan, thank you. I don't even know what a community sub is. What is that? Is that just a standard gift sub? Oh, it is just a regular gift sub. I didn't know that they were called community subs. I'm learning new things every day. Life would be drab without that. I've never shielded some other players' upswing before. And I suppose I will continue to not have experienced that. Anyway. Is the lighting decent? Yeah, lighting is still fine. Interestingly enough, I could have actually kept it the way it was when I first set up the recording, but I can't anticipate the fluctuations of light as caused by the sun moving behind the clouds and then back out again. Anyway. I do not engage in celestial prognostication. So therefore I can't really... Well, I suppose admittedly, the direction of sun travel is something that can be very effectively predicted, so I don't really know what I'm saying. I guess I can't predict the movement of clouds, so... Welkin prognostication is outside of my, I guess, capabilities. So Adjudicator has moved on, because he doesn't want to get caught in the snow, which is understandable. Yeah, Vernon, he brings me out. He rolls me out. Hey, check this out. I'm part of the entertainment of the evening. Nakakos is not... Well, thank you. Duke is a new name for me. Actually, no. Sounds like it might refer to excrement in some way. Doom K. Yeah, there's a guy on Hunsterverse whose name is actually Doom K. He's my name, but with letters removed from it. It's kind of funny. So every time... And I think he's actually appeared in the chat while I've been recording games on Hunsterverse, so I'm sure there would have been a little bit of confusion among VOD viewers as to why there's someone in the chat named Doom K that's not me. But yeah. What's the oh, it's Nakakos. What's the monster again? Oh, I see. Who's posted Nakakos? It's this guy. Well, I suppose he can have a Nakakos hunt. Literally one Nakakos hunt is what I will endure. I will brook of no further Nakako's posting, but if it's just the one, okay. Insect Glaive on... Okay, let's do it. As soon as I saw Insect Glaive as a prospect, I thought, well, you know what? I never do it, so sure. And there's another gift. Oh man. So Koroku got one before, now Enten's got one. Haven't seen Enten since the war. I'm not referring to an actual war, I'm just trying to suggest that it was a long time since I last saw him. Alrighty. I'll probably be live for another 50 minutes. Something like that. Maybe an hour. We shall see. And Merry Christmas to you also, Ethan. We've got Lin Ewan using full Atulkar at Hunter Rank 94. It stops being passable to use Atulkar once one has stepped over the threshold of Hunter Rank 100. So he's allowed to do it for now. I might... should I address brightness levels right now? Yes, I shall. I shall do that. At least partially. Should be able to make it home for the last hunt radio. Wow. Look how fucking bright it's gotten. See how I almost can't... There is no setup that can handle this sort of fluctuation in light. There is no such thing. Unless I have a remote to draw curtains and pull back curtains and lower brightness and raise brightness. Now, I know nothing of where I can find colours, but I will do what I can. Fuck off, I don't want your red. I've had your red already. Get it? Is that not hilarious? Okay, it happens to be that getting colours with Nakakos is very easy. Oh, come on. You had actually completed your attack animation. Yeah, today's not a good day. Today got a whole lot worse than it should have been the moment we started hunting this monster, really. I'm not a fan. Never have been and never will be a fan of this monster. And we've knocked him down, which is what I like to see. Sorry to prevent you from mining, Aiden, but it's not really worth it, I think you'll find. You prefer his fat cousin, I do. I do prefer Yamatsukami. Yamatsukami's just cooler. I don't know if I prefer the fight. That's hard to say. I think I mentioned that last time, that I struggled to decide which fight is better than the other. I think, objectively speaking, this is a better designed fight. But do I enjoy it as much? Probably not. In fact, almost certainly not. You know a good thing about fighting a... Can you just do the fucking hunter art, seriously? One of the good things about fighting this monster is that I don't have to worry about missing Extract Hunter. Sorry, Aiden. He thought his opportunity had arrived to carve this thing, but I would rather kill this thing faster than let you have your carves. I'm sorry, I don't want to be that guy, but yeah. You sense a gifted son? I didn't realise that you were one of the recipients. Is that right? Well, okay. You were not listed as a recipient, but maybe you got one yesterday and I didn't know. I'm not sure. Of course, all gifted subs are very appreciated, everyone. I've got 15 sub points now, up from 9. It's very appreciated. Oh, Long Daddy Green got a sub. There you go. Haven't seen him around for a while. He's a nice guy, it's just he doesn't watch me all that often anymore. We chat in DMs every now and again on Discord. Usually recommending each other music. Might activate Swarm. There goes Vernon again. Oh. One of those rare occasions when I'm actually using Swarm in a hunt. Well, the timing could have been slightly better with that, but I suppose it would be unfair to take account of my situation only. I actually have failed to get Extract Hunter up before running out of my colours. I can't believe it. That's a rare occurrence as well. Well, I can get it momentarily. Check this out. And we got it. No need to be dramatic about it, Doomlink. You'll get it. Now. And to you as well. I'm not much of a Christmas person, but you know. I'm not opposed to Christmas. I am, however, opposed to Christmas in July. That's fucking stupid. Anyone who's engaging in Christmas in July needs a good smack across the back of the head. Now you would probably ask, what on earth is Christmas in July? Well, it's people who, in the Southern Hemisphere, feel like Christmas has to take place when it's cold. And so they celebrate Christmas in July. I really didn't think it was real until I looked into it and I realized, no, there are actually people who are so dysfunctional that they feel it necessary to celebrate Christmas in July. So, there you go. I just don't get it. Because of course, in the Southern Hemisphere, it's hot during Christmas. It's the middle of summer. Fuck off. I've been enjoying myself though, using Insect Glaive against this monster. It's provided enough of a different experience to the norm that I'm actually not having a terrible time. Oh, there's a hype train. I see. A hype train. Oh no, it's actually not a hype train yet. A hype train is close, we don't have enough gift subs for it yet. I think the idea of a hype train is very funny. Because I'm sure it would work on some people. Some people are like, oh, there's a hype train, I better gift sub now. I wasn't going to do it before, but now that there's a hype train, I absolutely have to. Anyway. How many do you need? It actually... I think one more. One more within the next 1 minute and 20 seconds. It says a hype... all it says is a hype train is close. Alright, Ethan, touche. Touche. It says a hype train is close. Sub, gift, or use bits now to start a hype train, which would suggest to me that only one would be required. What? Has one started? There you go. Hype train incoming! I am so thoroughly excited right now. Don't know about you guys, but my day wouldn't have been the same without this. But I must say I am very appreciative, of course, of the gift subs being sent. Thank you for that. Ethan, this is not your first hype train. You were the hype train conductor for quite some time in the past. This is your second hype train. And my third in total so far. Where's orange again? I thought orange was on the face. Maybe it's... Hold on. I got orange from the face last time, so why am I... Okay, maybe it's not from the face. In fact, it's clearly not from the face. I could have just used Extract Hunter, but I guess I felt like actually working for my damage this time. I'll aim for that there face. Surely you're dead soon. Surely. You can't be lasting much longer than this. Alright, well thanks for watching, Ethan, and of course thank you for all the subs. You enjoy the rest of your evening. Yeah, certainly will. I don't know if sonic bombs help in any way. I don't think they do. Do they do anything? Oh, it's almost laser time. It just means that I have to be a little careful in attacking the face here. Yeah, it is almost laser time. And he's fallen over again. Is Aiden mining again? He's not. He's thought better of it. This fucking thing should be dead, by the way. I feel like I've wailed on it. Ow. This is problematic, you know. Unless we had insurance, I have to be very careful with what I'm doing. Let's find out. Yep, we're one death away from failure. Could you fucking believe if we failed? I'm actually going to get life powders at the ready just in case. We've got a laser incoming. It's not imminent, but well, now it's sort of imminent. You're able to tell when it's coming anyway from the head shell. When it moves into a vertical position, it means it is actually imminent. I've got some cicadas blaring outside. Hopefully they're not audible in any way. Might just settle for the tentacle for now. Might be a bit safer. Yep, laser incoming, get out of the way. Aiden, please don't attack the face now. If you fucking die and cause us to fail this quest, I swear to God, I'll be really angry. If this thing keeps flinching, he's going to be standing right there when the laser goes. I'm going to ping away. Please, just Aiden, please get out of there. Mate, don't heal in front of it. Don't you do this. It's coming now. Guys, why are you standing in front of it? For fuck's sake. It's not even inexperience. This person has reached G rank. They've fucking fought Nakakos before. Holy God. Good old waste of a hunt, hey? Now, I don't even enjoy successful Nikakos hunts. A failed one is like really shit. Lowering the brightness. That should be a little better. Yeah, that's much better. We didn't actually miss the hype train. We got the hype train. And apparently it was marginally successful. I think you missed the hype train, Tech. If you think that we missed it, then it means you missed it. We only got to level 1 though. Ends of the Earth. How about we succeed in this one? That'd be pretty nice. I'd enjoy that. I'd enjoy a successful hunt. I'll bring a sword and shield. That sounds like fun. Let me guess, mount spam. Could have guessed it. Looks like Lynn Ewan has left. Look, if I had a shout that I could send that says, "Get out of the way of the incoming laser," I would have fucking sent it. Oh, look who's back. Are you actually so stupid that you left this room, joined it again thinking it was a different room, found out that it was the same room and then left again? That's a special kind of stupid. Anyway. What a dick. Now technically there is something that I still need to do in my Generations Ultimate Endgame, which I'll probably never end up doing. And that is turning all of my armor sets into transmog armor sets. I just don't think I can bring myself to do it. I guess I'm just so used to not caring about the way my character looks that I just don't feel the need to allocate that sort of time to making my character look better. I've got some armor sets that are transmogged, and they're nice to have, I guess, but I don't require them. I really don't feel that need. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Well, I started out with 9 sub points today, finished with 18. Thank you. Big thanks to everyone who's contributed. Hello. Couldn't find you for a moment there. I do not recall the last time I used a sword and shield against this monster. Genuinely have no recollection of having used one in the past. Yes, this is Shagaru Magala. The Elder Dragon form of Gore Magala. He was a very fun hunt in 4 Ultimate when I first experienced it. I really do recall very clearly my first 4 Ultimate hunt with this monster. It must have been an urgent quest in high rank, and it was so fun. It was such a fun hunt. It was very hard. Fighting a Shagaru Magala when you don't know anything of what he's doing is actually quite challenging, but it was so fun. And it was a successful hunt. I probably would have had a bit less fun if it were a failed hunt, but I think we did have 2 faints in the end, but... and I think one of them was me. But it was a really rewarding experience. I enjoyed it a lot. Is Gore a flying weapon? I believe so, yeah. That sounds about right. As far as what skeleton he uses, What skeleton does he use? It could very well be the... what's it called again? The... whatever Tigrex uses. I don't think it might be that one. Yes, I did read, Juvenator, that you said you had Bloodborne. Are you saying that you have beaten it in 3 days, or are you saying that you are trying to beat it in 3 days? Either way, that's probably quite a process. I suppose you're saying you have beaten it within 3 days because it's 3 days since Christmas Day, so... yeah. You have to beat it in 3 days. Why? Enjoy it. I certainly can't. So you should. And I don't say I can't because I don't have the game, I say I can't because I don't like the game. So yeah, you enjoy it on my behalf. I think forcing yourself to complete it as quickly as possible is probably not a way to do that. I don't know, everyone's got their own experience, I guess. Feels good to use Sword and Shield, though. It is one of my favourite weapon types. I just feel like I haven't been using it enough in this game, and I know why. It's because for the longest time I did have a Sword and Shield armor set that just had terrible defense. Absolutely awful. But now I've updated my Sword and Shield armor set, and it has reasonable defense. My old one barely had 700 defense. That's how bad it was. Now I've got 871. So that's appropriate. How hard is Demon Souls? Assuming that the remake stayed true to the original, it's probably about as difficult as the original Dark Souls. It does depend on how you look at it. If you consider factors such as the game becoming harder the more you die to contribute to a harder game, then sure. There is a catch to that, though. As long as you stay in the Archstone, it won't get harder as you die. If you leave the Archstone, then it will update. And it will be a harder area than when you last arrived there. Another catch is that the only way it gets harder is if you die while alive. You don't have to play the game while you're in a state of being alive. You can play in soul form. And dying in soul form does not actually affect the location. So you can say it's harder than Dark Souls, but I do think it depends on how you look at it. Because it was my first Souls game, it's hard for me to say for sure how it would match up in difficulty, because of all the games that I've played, that one was the hardest for me because it was my first. And that was the game that basically beat me senseless. And I kept on coming back like some sort of abused woman in a relationship. But, you know, we have a happy marriage, so what can I say? It worked out in the end. Yeah, it is a fun mechanic. And it's one of the reasons why Demon's Souls is a fairly unique game among the Souls games. It is my favourite. As far as a question as to what one my favourite is, definitely Demon's Souls. Can't speak for the remake, never played it. I don't intend to abstain from playing it, but I will until it becomes available on PC, or until getting a PS5 isn't an absolute joke. So, yeah. And what would I like to use for this? Silver Athlos. Well, quite frankly, I'd rather not fight the fucking monster at all. But if we're going to do it anyway, I'll bring this. Why I hate Bloodborne, it's so much fun. There is no simple answer to that question, and you know that, Juvenator, and I'm not going to turn a Monster Hunter recording into a rant about why Bloodborne is not a good game. That's unfair. But Bloodborne is, compared with the Souls series, not a good game. On its own, it's a good game. But unfortunately, unpopular opinions need to be quantified more than popular opinions, so I'd have to sit here and talk about it for quite some time. And I'd rather not. Again, I'm not very interested in hunting this monster. If I could actually have this thing blacklisted in some way, that would be nice. I've just fought too many of them. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of the metal wraths, as they're called. I don't want to fight them anymore. I've fought them plenty of times in the other games, but in this particular game, I just don't want to do it. It's stupid. Don't start saying rat as well, Juvenator. I don't think this torch needs to be carried any further. Well, if I know this area, like I do, I think I know where he starts. It is very strange to return to the Forest and Hills in 4th generation. I hate him so much. Well, that makes 2 of us. At least we can agree on that point. Well, I'm sure in your specific circle, Vernon, it will live forever. It's strange how they changed the climbing area here. It's one big block now instead of a small, like, sort of a stepping... I don't know how I'm explaining this. It's clearly not being explained in an articulate and comprehensive fashion, so I'll just stop it there. What's the balance of his fight? It's not a bad question, let me think about that. So, his weak point are the wings, but he's always in the air. So for a Blade Master, that's hard. That's the balance of his fight. One aspect of it, anyway. I think I've got the right order here. There we go. No! Fuck off. Yeah, I do prefer the original version of the Forest and Hills in terms of that ledge. It looks more natural, whereas that big fucking block of earth looks a bit unnatural. It might be because I'm not used to it, but in fact it likely is because of that. I don't know if I'm going crazy, but it feels like almost every monster we've fought today has been especially large, and I don't know if this one is especially large. He seems rather big, but yeah. Fuck. Alright, what have we got? Defense boost, that is the same, apparently. I'm just going to focus on playing the songs, and I'll go in. Fuck off. Couldn't even encore that. I do not have flash bombs on hand, so I can't very well interrupt his flying. Yeah, it does take up too much space, that is true. I agree with that. Aha. Well, I suppose I can deal damage instead. That's fine. I'm assuming the impact weak point is still the wings. It might not be, but... Okay, I'm just going to take a hit because I'm dumb. Never mind, I was outside of the range of that fireball for some reason. I'm not going to complain, but I will register my surprise. I was kind of hoping for an epic knockout with that one, but perhaps not. Unrealistic expectation. I probably need to top up my attack up, and I will do that during the knockout. This is assuming, of course, that I am not interrupted by the gunner. Oh yes, I happen to know the gunner too. I know that guy. The head is broken. Hopefully everyone stays in here for me to top this up. Very good. I'm assuming he went this way. He almost always goes this way. By the way, if you want pure misery, fight Silver Athlos in the Forest and Hills in 1st gen. Absolute misery. He just flies around. You'll maybe engage him for about a minute and then he'll fly off again. And then you'll spend like a minute or two, sometimes 2 minutes depending on where he's flown, to catch up to him again. And then you might not even be able to catch up to him before he flies off again. It is just pure hell. I don't know what the hell they were thinking with that, but he just flies around the whole time. King of the Skies, yeah. That's why they called him that. He won't get out of the fucking sky. Anyway. I'll aim for the... well, no, I will aim for the face. Should be more of a weak point now. It would be rather foolish to aim for the face while the head is intact and then abstain from hitting it when it's broken. That would be illogical. Fairly logical if we were playing 3rd gen, or even 2nd gen first, but not in 4th, because in 4th, breaking the head actually creates it a weak point. Much like the Urugan chin. Don't know why I stuttered on the word chin. I suppose it was because I was questioning whether or not I wanted to refer to it as a chin as opposed to a head. But I do want to refer to it as a chin as opposed to a head. So there you go. Well, that's some helpful lore. Thank you, Juvenator. Tiny Urugan. Phantom Urugan he was called. And he also had a cameo appearance in the mini Kurapeko quest, mini Crimson Kurapeko quests from Portable 3rd and Free Ultimate. He was fucking hard, to be honest. A good question is, what's harder? Mini Kutku or Mini Urugan? It's a very good question. Probably Mini Kaku, to be honest. Mini Kaku's a shit quest. If you've ever done that in Freedom Unite, it's not fun. It's not a fun quest. With a lance, it's reasonable, but if you're not using a lance, then have fun. World Eater Joe. It's been a long time since I've done that quest. I think even when the tri-server shut down, I hadn't done World Eater in a while, so it feels like a distant memory. But the best case scenario was having a guy pellet gun you into the ledge, or onto the ledge, so everyone would jump from Area 8, and then there'd be a guy in Area 5 shooting everyone into that area of the map, that glitched out area where the monster couldn't hit you. And then everyone just guns Devil Joe to death. I did that a few times, but I particularly did that just to walk around the deserted island in a gathering quest, just for fun. That was really good. I was often the pellet gunner for that. But whenever I was not the designated gunner, I enjoyed just running around the deserted island like that. It was a random flashback you had. I don't think there was anything that was said that would remind you of 4-point formation, but I suppose the mentioning of bow guns? The pellet gun reminded you of that? No, the normal gun is what was used for that Hame run. I suppose pellet works, but normal was better. The Goldbeard Deus heavy bow gun, I believe crouch firing normal level 2. Well, your group sucked! No, I'm just kidding. But really, pellet, no. Why would you use pellet? That's a weird idea. Very weird idea. I mean, if they were all using pellet, maybe. But yeah, the groups that I hunted 4-point formation in when it was first discovered to be a good quest to grind used 2 normal heavy bow guns and 2 Brachydios dual blades users. And under those circumstances it would be very inappropriate to be using pellet, because you'd be fucking up the dual... Well, you wouldn't be fucking up the dual blades, guys, because I'm actually assuming that demonized mode, that is to say, would give you resistance to pellet. So maybe it wouldn't be so bad after all. Welcome back, then. We have Hyperduramboros on the board. What am I doing? Okay. I guess... Firelight Bowgun. Have you guys noticed that I just don't gun all that much anymore? I don't know why. I don't know what has repelled me from gunning. Maybe I've just lost interest in it. I haven't lost interest in it. I mean, I considered myself to be an endgame gun main. Now, the meaning of that is that I wouldn't really use a gun until I got into endgame. In other words, the latter part of G rank and beyond. And then I would use bowgun almost primarily once reaching that point, but nowadays I just don't really do that. I've had my fun with bowgun. I'm not in the mood anymore. I don't think it's your fault that I don't like bowgun anymore. And I don't have an issue with paralysis. But yeah, there is such a thing as overusing it. Flaming shots. That's probably all I need to bring, right? The rest of it's internal. Yep, that should do me. Hopefully I'm not punished by not bringing any pierce shots or anything like that. Yeah, Latreon cluster runs were good fun. The funniest thing I ever saw... It's incredible, actually. I managed to get a full team. I've talked about it before, but the... Oh, fuck, what was it called? Aqua something. Aquans. It wasn't Aquamatic, it was... Well, it was called the Long Shot, but I forgot the word that precedes that. It's Aqua something or other, to refer to the bowguns that are forged from the Ancient Shards and the Rust Shards. But it was called the Long Shot. It was basically the Raytheon heavy bowgun design. Why it had that design, I don't know. The Raytheon heavy bowgun existed in the game, but as something that you would get from... I think it was Aquamatic. I think it was. Aquamatic Long Shot, something like that. Anyway, that heavy bowgun, which had the appearance of the Raytheon heavy bowgun from previous games, actually rapid-fired cluster shot level 1. So it's like, oh, rapid-firing cluster shot, that must be really good for the Latreon cluster run. And so I think we... occasionally you'd get a person who'd use that. There would always be this one guy. Not always, I shouldn't say that, that's a bit hyperbolic. Every now and again you would have one guy turn up with the long shot, thinking, oh, I've got rapid-fire cluster shots, so this is great. And then everyone would just be like, what are you doing? It's not good, it's terrible. Like, it's actually not good at all, and it's not helpful. You'd be better off shooting a different ammo type, because cluster level 1 just doesn't cut it. And I remember I ended up testing it out with a group. We all equipped the long shot and went cluster level 1, and it was an absolute failure. All of us, all 4 of us were rapid firing cluster shot level 1, and it just failed. It did not work at all. It was pretty funny to see. But, yeah. It's funny using this bowgun though, because it's taken on a new... Well, I've acquired a level of appreciation for it as the light bowgun from first gen called Profusion. It's a very good light bowgun from those games. Get away from me. It looks kind of cool with its silver silencer on the end. Now flaming level 2. As I recall, the horns specifically, not the face, but the horns, are an elemental weak point, so I'll try to aim for those. Oh, fuck off. Okay. Well, I can hope for lag compensation damage being dealt, I guess. Could have bullet geysered that. Face. Thank you. That's very nice of you. I'm assuming there is still a horn hit zone when you've broken said horns. I think that would be a reasonable assumption. But there might not be. He's being very charitable to me right now, presenting his face in the perfect position for me to hit it. I don't think the tail's even wounded. There you go. Oh yeah, this particular light bow gun does have very low, very high wait time on it. How do they refer to it? It is very high wait time for... No, average wait time, excuse me, for flaming level 1. Could you imagine it taking longer than this? Look at that. That's average. Could you imagine very high? I can't. That would be horrendous. This looks like high fucking recoil to me. Goodness me. But yeah, I cannot actually fathom very high wait time. Yeah, do your spin. Need to close the distance a bit there. I might actually bullet guys you. How do you feel about that, Mr. Duramboros? Sorry, Alice, but I'd chosen not to do it for pretty much the whole hunt, so I eventually had to do it, didn't I? This is a nice area to find a Duramboros, though. It feels quite appropriate. This particular area does feel like something appropriate for Portable Third. And I associate this monster very much with Portable Third. It was his first game. Oh. Managed to get my reload out. Why are you still alive? Oh, it's because you're hyper, that's why. Understandable. Carry on. Oh. Might aim for the tail then, seeing as though that's probably not a bad thing to aim for. I don't know what the elemental weakness of the tail is. It might not actually be all that high. It's obviously good for raw, but elementally speaking, I couldn't say. I do have Bullet Geyser charged again, although I really only use Bullet Geyser as an evasive maneuver. I don't use it with the intention of dealing damage with it necessarily. If I can get a bit of damage out with it, then fine, but it's a bit too disruptive to the flow of the team to use it purely as an offensive thing. Horns again. As you can see, you get a lot of mileage out of flaming shots. Well, what am I saying? You get a lot of mileage out of rapid fire shots, is what I meant to say. Tail, tip, humps, and head. Well, it sounds like that's... minus the head, it's exactly the same as physical weak points, so there you go. But again, I do believe that there is a difference in elemental weak points to that of the horns and the head. I believe they're a separate... Hello? They're a separate hit zones there. Good to know the tail is indeed an elemental weak point. Oh, the head has the higher elemental. How did I swap that in my head? How bizarre. I really did 110% think that the horns were the elemental weak point. That almost doesn't make sense. That the horns would be the physical weak point. I don't know. I'll trust you, but I don't know how I swapped that in my head. Nice suit, Alice. Marbled hump. I'll do one more hunt. I don't have to finish at the 2-hour mark. But yeah, ended up doing 2 recordings of Generations Ultimate in a row. Really wasn't expecting to do that, but if I don't have any other games with people available to play, then I'll return to this game. This is sort of my default game. The one that I play if I literally can't play any other game, because I will always have people to play with here. Always. Because it is, I guess, what you could call a thriving community. There's always people here, regardless of the time zone. So it's helpful. Whereas the people who, for example, are playing 4 Ultimate... Excuse the background noise, I'm sure that will desist soon. But yeah, what was I saying? The 4 Ultimate community, at least the emulator... Why can I never refer to this properly? The emulation community playing 4 Ultimate seem to have a rather different time zone to that of myself. That's according to Kiraniko. I don't use Kiraniko anymore, but I don't know, it's probably correct. Rather than that being outdated, I think it could very well be the... what I'll do is I'll check my reference. Such a long list of monsters, seriously. There it is. Duramboros. Weakness. Yeah, I've remembered it correctly. Kiraniko is wrong. They swapped the values. I'll show you. Now, I don't know if that's large enough for you, but I don't want to change that because this is actually my Discord capture filter. I don't know if I should call it filter, more like... Anyway, it doesn't matter. I've repurposed something else to show you this, so I don't want to fuck around with it too much, but the horn elemental weak point is 35, whereas the head is 10. I live and die by this reference. I would not trust Kiraniko over this one. This, and I have it on very good authority that this is the correct information. So yeah. Ping's Dex is the way to go. I'm sure Kiraniko for the most part is correct, but... Fuck off, John, says Vernon. Very good. Fuck off, John. I concur. Know your place, swine. I'm gonna try and Well, I'll fix my Discord capture later. It's not like I need it now, but... Alrighty. Our final hunt will be Ugnaughtor. And I'm in a lance mood. I could use the misophobic scream. In fact, I may. I may do that. I'll use my joke set. That'll be our last one. I'll use the misophobic scream. Maybe it would be more appropriate to... Well, hold on. Lance. No, I'll use the misophobic scream just with an actual lance set. I think that'll be better. Where is it? Actually, it's not very good, is it? Look at it. It sucks. This is a terrible lance. It's not even really high element, but tiny raw. It just is a terrible lance. Fuck this thing. I'm not using it even as a joke. I'll do it if I'm doing the joke weapon roulette series, but... yeah. No thank you. Not today. Look at the size of this thing. Compared to that lance I was just using before, this is colossal. Was it always this big? John left. He's out of here. You're not doing my quest? I'm out of here. I don't have time for anyone else's quests. He has actually made the right decision for himself, because we're not, well, at least I'm not staying in this room after this hunt, so there you go. What's the benefit to that greatsword here? Oh, it is... okay, so it is blast innately. It was Slime Awaken in 3 Ultimate, but now they've just given this greatsword a permanent blast value, which is weird. Obviously, from Try, this was just a raw weapon. In fact, that begs the question as to what the Awaken element would have been in Try. Because this greatsword was in Try, but obviously Slime wasn't in Try. And I have forgotten what the Awaken element would have been for the Volcanus. Don't know. I think it was fire. I seem to remember it being fire for some reason. I don't think I ever used it. Well, I would have used it at some point. I'm pretty sure that in my original try save I'd basically made every single weapon, because there's no real reason to hoard all your materials if you were playing that game for so long. There weren't that many weapons, so yeah. Making weapons, or making all of them rather, was just a sensible aspect to the end game to engage with. We'll wait for one more and then we'll depart. Realistically, it shouldn't take too long to get someone in this room. I am Hunt Rank 999. What I will do after this recording is I'll do a live stream in Mario Kart. But I'll wait until after I've eaten, because I'm kinda hungry. And by kind of hungry I mean very hungry. I'll probably get a beverage for it. Just one beer. That'd do me. The problem with Mario Kart is that it's only barely passable on Twitch, and on YouTube it just looks like a pixelated mess, but you know what? The enjoyment that I get out of recording it is such that I will persist in the face of what can only be described as terrible visual quality. It's only barely passable on Twitch because Twitch doesn't support enough video bitrate to handle such fast movements. It really doesn't. It's terrible. Anyway, even Monster Hunter, to be honest, it doesn't work very well for Monster Hunter either. Like, there's a lot going on the screen sometimes when I'm playing Generations Ultimate, for example. And it does cause a lot of visual artifacts to appear. But I guess people have just made an allowance in their minds, subconsciously, for bad visual quality when they're watching a live stream. They just don't expect it to look perfect when it's live, And it shouldn't be that way. Really, there's no reason for it to be that way. I sort of understand why it is. It's a long explanation as to why. But the best way to truncate the explanation would be to say that when a person is watching Twitch, they are having to download the entirety of what the streamer is uploading. Whereas on YouTube, they don't need to do that. They're actually watching... Like, YouTube handles the incoming connection and YouTube will then distribute it to the viewer at a much lower cost to the viewer's download. So, there you go. Now, what are we... We're hunting Ugnauctor. Again, it just feels wrong to fight Ugnauctor in this location. Totally wrong. I'll tell you what would be a whole lot more wrong. Not drinking a cool drink, so I'm gonna do that. And I have done it. I think he starts in Area 4, but I'll try 3 first. Just in case. I'm glad I tried 3 first. Ugh. I don't have ESP, excuse me. I don't have Mind's Eye on this, it turns out. Of course, ESP works too, it's just... Calling it ESP when I'm actually playing 4th gen is a bit silly. Quite frankly, I don't know why they called it ESP in the first place. It's a bit of a weird... Like, how does it make you an Esper if you're hitting something without bouncing? It's weird. It makes no sense. That's kind of unnecessary, Ugnauctor, for you to create such a wide lava pool when you slam the ground. What's that about? Are you melting on me? Is that the logic of it? I don't understand it otherwise. Unless you're melting on me when you do that, that's illogical. I'm not saying that him melting on me is logical, but... Anyway. That was very cinematic. Watching Vernon do an aerial jump out of the area. Perhaps not all that helpful for him. I can barely see what I'm fucking doing. Oh my god, I can't see shit. Between the piercing effects of that bowgun and this monster right up in my face, you really can't see anything. That was great, thank you. I will sharpen up. Shut up, Leviathan creature. We've got an Apsaros joining the fun. I'm quite looking forward to some Mario Kart after this. It's not going to be immediately after, I must warn you. It'll be maybe 40 minutes after I finish this recording. That would be my guess. I'm wary about uploading too much Mario Kart stuff on my channel, but... You know what I hate? The first Mario Kart recording that I uploaded recently was quite good. I was in good form. Not in terms of gameplay, but in terms of commentary, because before I had set up the recording process didn't really work too well. Well, in other words, the setup sort of fucked up while I was live, and so I had to go and get that fixed, and it put me in a very annoyed mood, and I find that I'm in better form when it comes to my commentary when I'm pissed off. And so it just made for a better recording overall, I found. And then the one where I felt like I was not in good form ended up being the one that got all the views. Because people tend to watch the most recent one. Like, let's say, by the time they've noticed that I've uploaded something and 2 videos have been uploaded, they'll watch the second one, but not the first one. So everyone watched that second one, the 3-hour-long one, instead of the, 2-hour-long one that preceded it. And in my opinion, the second one was far worse than the first. The second one, I was, like, being very lethargic. I was like this sedentary creature just sitting there, like, the whole time. That's what it felt like, watching it back. I'm sure, again, I uploaded because it's entertaining, but in terms of commentary, it was much worse. But it's always that way. What people end up watching is never as good as some of the other stuff you do. It gets much less attention. That's life as a content creator. Has been a long time since we last played Monster Hunter. But I'm always here. So whenever you want to hunt, you let me know. Well, it doesn't really work that way. Rather, if I happen to be live and you'd like to hunt, then we can. My availability isn't quite that convenient. Worn gunlance, I have no need for any worn weapons in this game anymore. I have them all. I had this bad habit of always taking a worn weapon in case I didn't have it. Well, I always had it. So I'm going to stop taking worn weapons at this stage. I think that would be a sensible thing to do. Alrighty. I do thank you all for watching, and I will see you in less than an hour in a Mario Kart livestream. That is assuming you would like to join me for that. I bid you all farewell for the moment, and yeah, I'll hopefully see you later. Bye-bye.